Less than 24 hours after losing his first final as Real Madrid coach, it was announced that Xabi Alonso had left the club with immediate effect, and he was very quickly replaced by Álvaro Arbeloa. This came as a shock to a lot of people as it came out of nowhere, and we're here to examine what could have led to this. Alonso had been on the hot seat for some time, and it felt like the axe was going to drop at any time. But according to many sources, it was Alonso himself who eventually asked to leave the club. Either way, there were certain things he did and decisions he made that got him into this position, and that's what we're here to talk about today. These are the 3 cardinal sins that cost Xabi Alonso his job at Real Madrid. First of all, let's make this very clear. It was obviously not just about overall results. Real Madrid were not in the worst place when Alonso got sacked. They were second in La Liga, in the top 8 of the Champions League, and in the round of 16 of the Copa del Rey. So a treble was still very possible for the European giants this season. Also, they won the first Clásico of the season and only lost the second one by a 1-goal margin, so it wasn't that horrible. This is why we're sure that Alonso leaving the club halfway into the season wasn't because of results. At least not solely because of that. One major reason he was sacked was because he lost the dressing room. Alonso just did not command the type of respect that is required of a Real Madrid coach, and that probably made the bosses feel he wasn't the right man for the job. He often presents as weak and spineless, and the fans have often complained about it. The management probably felt like things would only get worse from here, so they decided to just rip the band-aid off once and for all. But that's not the sin. For us, his first cardinal sin was substituting Vini in his first Clásico as manager. At the time of the first Clásico of the season, things were going super well for Alonso. Madrid were top of La Liga going into that game, and after winning it, they went 5 points clear. But something happened in that game which left a bitter taste in the mouths of many despite the win. Alonso took Vini off in the 72nd minute when he was having an amazing game, and that led to a massive uproar. First of all, Vini himself was not happy with the change, and he threw a tantrum on his way out of the pitch. That was not the smartest wrong move from Alonso, as it sort of created a sort of civil war in the Real Madrid fan base, and perhaps also in the dressing room. It started to look like Mbappé was Alonso's favourite, who was untouchable and could do absolutely no wrong. Under Alonso, Mbappé would never be taken off or questioned, whatever the case. It felt like Mbappé called the shot and Vini was just a supporting cast, and that didn't go down well with a lot of fans who love Vini for all the success he has brought to Real Madrid in the recent past. Then going ahead to take Vini off again in the second Clásico with a trophy on the line was probably the nail in the coffin. Vini, once again, was having a really good game. He had even scored the first equaliser and was easily Real Madrid's biggest threat going forward, but he was still taken off while Rodrigo was left to play 90 minutes. It surely wasn't a good look by any means, but it gets worse. But before we talk about cardinal sin number 2, if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. This new year, Goal 90 drops something special, football-inspired phone cases made for the Goal 90 fam. From club colours to country pride, we've got you covered. And the best part? Customize it with your name and number. Head to the Goal 90 shop and get yours now. Now back to Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso. Another cardinal sin that cost the coach his job was making Mbappé more important than he should have been. Mbappé is one of the best players in the world, no doubt, and we're sure that all coaches will give him some measure of respect simply because of that. But it felt like Alonso overdid it and let Mbappé dictate certain things in the squad. It felt like Mbappé could determine what games he'd play and how many minutes he'd get in those games. For example, take a look at this. Mbappé was on the bench for the entirety of the game against City due to an injury as Real Madrid went on to lose the game, only for him to go on and play the full 90 minutes in a less important Copa del Rey game against a third-tier team just 7 days later. According to reports and speculations, Mbappé demanded to play that game in order to try and break Ronaldo's record for most goals for Real Madrid in a calendar year, and the coach just could not overrule him. Guess what? The Frenchman suffered a setback which forced him to miss the first 2 games of the year. It was also the reason he didn't start the Supercopa final against Barcelona. So, you could argue that the coach making Mbappé too important and giving him free rein affected the team's performances and results. At a club like PSG or AS Monaco, perhaps that could fly. But at a club like Real Madrid, every player, regardless of their status, is expected to fight for their place in the team every single time and prove that they deserve to be wearing the shirt. It just never felt like Alonso made Mbappé do that, and that made a section of the fan base, and perhaps also the management, feel some type of way. It simply was not a good reflection of Alonso's managerial abilities. There's even a video going around where Mbappé appeared to overrule Alonso in public. Apparently, Alonso wanted his players to stay back and give Barcelona a customary guard of honor on their way to receiving their medals after the Supercopa final. But Mbappé appeared to instruct the players not to do that, and they all heeded, including Alonso himself. It was not a good image for Real Madrid at all. It felt like one player had all the power at the club and that maybe had the bosses questioning Alonso's leadership. Now, the last cardinal sin that cost Xabi Alonso his job has to be his decision to force a new idea and style of play on the players so quickly. Right from when he took over the team ahead of the Club World Cup, Alonso tried to get the players to play a particular way different from what they had been used to, and not every player received that very well. According to reliable reports, some players never agreed with Alonso's ideas from the very beginning, so he practically never had full control of the dressing room at any point in his 8 months in charge of the club. Apparently, some important players would often come into training and just stroll around, while some others would arrive very late and leave very early. In fact, it is said that that was what led to the former Leverkusen boss deciding to leave. Reports say that he didn't see the team ever accepting or adapting to his style, and that he was fed up with the lack of respect from the players, so he decided to call it quits. Maybe he would do things completely differently if he had a second go at it, but it just is what it is right now. The man made some pretty big mistakes, and it seems like they turned what was initially a dream job into an absolute nightmare. Finally, and this is surely not the reason he lost his job, but losing a final to arch rivals Barcelona surely did not help his case at all. A loss in the Clásico always feels heavier than any other loss, and when there's a trophy on the line, it just makes things that bit more consequential. So consequential that despite all these issues, if Alonso had won the Supercopa final at the expense of Barcelona, he would almost certainly have remained as coach of Real Madrid until at least the end of the season. But here's what we'll say: don't make the mistake of writing Xabi Alonso just yet. He is still a very young coach, and as he showed at Leverkusen, he's a top one too. He'll learn from this and get better. In fact, he could even have another chance to coach Real Madrid when he has matured as a coach and gained more experience. Who knows? Real Madrid are known to give coaches second chances. They did it with Zinedine Zidane and Carlo Ancelotti, and both times it turned out to be a great idea, so just don't write off Alonso. Anyway, it's now time to hear from you guys. What do you think is the biggest reason Alonso lost his job as Real Madrid boss? Do you think he deserved a little more time? What's next for the Spanish manager? Get in the comments and tell us what you think. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.
Do you want to make money with affiliate marketing? Join the Goal90 Shop affiliate program and start earning today. Get your unique affiliate link and exclusive discount coupon to share with your audience. Every sale made through your link earns you a 10% commission. No limits, just real earnings. Don't miss out. Turn your influence into income now.